Hi, everybody there on Andy's Popcorn Planet. I can only say thank you from the very recesses of my being for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I did it again.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet. Johnny Depp approved. So happy to be here as we talk about the news live with you. And I'm so happy to have It's Kim here. How are you doing, Kim?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So happy to have you and so happy to have everybody else watching. Sorry, I had a technical issue. There's something still wrong with my screen, but I'm working on it. I'm sorry for all the delays. But why is that screen? Anyway, I'll have to figure that out later. But welcome to the show. Sorry for the delay. We're here now. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about the news. It might be a little bit of a quicker show. We did have seemed like a Hurricane Cat 1 was coming. It turned into a tropical storm. But it's all been good. Had the kids home from school, so I had a nice break with them. And so happy to be here with you guys. Well, so Kim, let's get to this first story, shall we?
Yep.
All right, so first story up is this one that's going to blow your mind. Let's talk about Julia Fox. You guys remember her, one of Kanye's exes. Man, I don't know who's more out there on this one, Kim. I'm going to look forward to hearing your thoughts on this. I don't know if you heard the clip itself. It's a doozy. But she's out there. Look, I know I hate talking about that woman that we shall not be named, but I can't stand when people come back out and just put it out there as if she was the innocent one. And I have the clip in question, which we're going to watch. But here it is with Julia Fox showing support for Amber Heard after the Johnny Depp trial. It was actually Emily Ratajkowski who brought it up and was so proud of her for standing up for Amber. Rather than just go there, thank you, Brandon, help me find this clip. Here is the clip in question of Julia and Emily talking about this. I want to play it, and then we'll discuss it. Okay, Kim?
I did want to talk to you about standing up for Amber Heard because I just thought that was really incredible.
Thank you. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, is this Cat 10 Barge? Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. Keep going.
I feel like there is like a little movement on TikTok where after all the documents were released and people really read everything and read his assistant or his manager's testimony and whatever, I feel like there was kind of like a backtrack.
Yes.
But
like
still
a response, like pro-Amber response.
But still the damage is done. No. And I did have to say something because if it could happen to Amber Heard, who is a white, blonde, beautiful, successful actress, because people say that she had no career before, but she did. She had over 10 movies, I think. So it can really happen to, none of us are safe.
Yeah.
And for me, I always just see things like bigger picture. Like I never really harp on the small details. I look at like, what does this mean for the collective?
Yeah.
With that, and then with the Roe v. Wade being overturned, and then what was happening over in Afghanistan, I just felt like compelled to say something because I was like, guys, like, yeah, you guys are making comments, but you don't realize that this is going to damage women. All of humanity, of all the women in the world are going to suffer from this.
I mean, it's already so scary to come out and talk about the experiences we have as women. And
it's hard to prove them because it's like, abuse is so insidious and sometimes you don't even know you're being abused, and sometimes you're being abused, but you don't want to see yourself as a victim. Yes. So you try to be tough and fight back. So then it can be like, oh, but no, we fight each other.
Ugh,
bitch,
I know.
He whoops your fucking ass. Like, stop. You know what I mean? And I only know because I've been there.
I was going to say, you've spoken out about your own experiences and had people like not believe you, right?
Yeah. And it happened to me too. So obviously I always stand up for the women in a situation just because I've been there and I know how lonely it is and how scary it is when people that you've known even your whole life are kind of looking at you funny, and it's like, I'm not a liar. Like, call me any name in the book, but a liar, that is not me.
No. And the way that people turned her into this like hysterical character.
Yeah, I know. It's fucked up.
I don't even know where to unpack. Well, look, she showed her bias there at the end. That's the only thing I will say to her credit of just like, she wasn't believed, I guess, by a story she told. So therefore she's trying to, believe all other women that have come forward since they laughed at her. But I don't know what trial they were watching. I don't think they were watching a trial. I think they were watching recaps from other, high profile feminists who are out there helping, get the word out. But this just really bothered me listening to that clip, the two of them. Yeah. She's such a, Johnny was just, they didn't say his name, but they clearly are implying he was an abuser and that she was being shown as this crazy. I mean, how did they not see her as the crazy fake actress on stand? It blows my mind. Kim, what do you think as you listen to the brilliant words of Julia Fox on Emily Ratajkowski's podcast?
I wrote notes the first time because it was just like, okay. The first thing I want to say is Julia says that she was abused. I don't know anything about her situation. I'm not going to judge her. I don't want that to happen to anybody, and I do hope the best for her. So, and as a survivor myself, I understand wanting to believe that someone wouldn't lie about that happening to them, because to us, it's so unthinkable and disgusting. But that being said, a jury looked over the evidence that Amber brought to the table. I also looked at the evidence that Johnny brought to the table. And before anybody says, well, Amber didn't get all of her evidence in. Yeah, neither did Johnny, okay? They both didn't get stuff in that they wanted to get in. That's the way this worked. The jury watched Amber lie. They watched her pose for photos while she was testifying. Amber lost her case the moment she showed her true colors. And to the women that are saying, believe all women, why aren't you all believing Gia? You're not believing so many other women who have come forward in this situation that are closer to the situation, but I guess their opinions don't matter. Or their stories don't matter. It's all about Amber, because the reality is that Amber admitted to starting a physical fight on tape. That is abuse. Second, there was, I was reading the People article, and there was a quote in there, I believe, of
yeah, she has
Julia
here. Did she hit him? Yes. Was it abuse? No.
No.
You need to
yes,
have
it was.
power. You need to have power to be able to abuse it. Oh my God.
And then she says
she's
she
so
was
hung up
25. First of all,
she was 25. He was
Amber
clearly
Heard
always
and Johnny
way.
Depp.
Hold on, let's read the quote. You need to have power to be able to abuse it. She was 25. He clearly was always way more powerful, including physically and financially. That is so absurd. She's saying, well, there was an abuse of power, which what? And then that it negates the fact that she's allowed to hit him because, like, what?
And I'm
Like
sorry,
this woman.
she wasn't 25 when they started dating. She was 26. I know that's splitting hairs, but they also were together for quite a while. And during that time, she was not 25 years old. So it's like, to me, it's hard to believe abuse allegations when the accusations that she's making do not match up with the evidence that was presented. And also when the person who is making these accusations has a proven history of lying, including perjury. It's also even harder to believe the allegations when the person alleging the abuse has previously been arrested for DV. I don't hear people talking about that, and that drives me absolutely nuts. Not to mention that other women have come forward and alleged that Amber was physical with her sister. So if all women are going to suffer because of this trial, it's because of Amber Heard. It's not because of Johnny Depp. And if we want to talk about the bigger picture, and I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget it, the bigger picture is that millions of stories of abuse from women, men, children, non-binary people, abuse in same-sex relationships, it's all ignored, and that needs to stop. The bigger picture is that abuse has no gender. Even when a man gets his finger cut off, people still don't believe him. They go, oh, he did it himself. And the bigger picture is that people are making judgments on a case they didn't even watch, and they're talking about it like they're experts in it when they have no idea what's going on. And that's where I sit.
Yeah, I mean, and look at this quote, which I'm glad you reminded me to pull up because it's just absurd. So she's either her own actress with 10 movies, right, and defending her that way, or she's the nobody that Johnny's abused. It's like which is it? She just makes no sense. And this idea that she's just shrugging off, well, she hit him. There's no evidence of him doing it to her. There isn't. So you're gonna and you've heard they clearly. How do you listen to those audio tapes and not hear a woman who's emotionally abusing him, like beyond physical? Like she is just berating him. He's calm, he's collected. It's just like those audio tapes triggered so many people who've been in those types of relationships to know what the if anybody was in control, it was her. Like the dynamic there was just so sad. And so for her and Emily to just be there, like that we have to support all women at all costs, even Amber, how brave Amber was. Yikes. It's just, that's the world we're at right now. There's, oh my God, yeah. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I've tried to like defend Emily in the past, but it's hard to get here. I understand standing up for women, of course, always you got to stand up for women, but she had her day in court and she exposed herself in that day in court. The evidence, her own testimony, the audio tapes, it's all there. Johnny admitted to his faults. Amber would admit to nothing. She would admit to nothing. She wouldn't even admit that she didn't give the charity money. Oh, I pledged it. She was caught. She's perjured herself in multiple countries. Like, how much do we need to give, Kim? How much do we need to give when it's like, all right, Emily, Julia,
but
maybe
again, it
just,
wasn't even like,
don't say anything.
Oh, like, it wasn't even the pledging, though. It was first like I pledged it and it was a plan. Okay, fine. But you had all the money for 13 months before there was any action taken. That has nothing to do with Johnny. There's so many of these things that she just kept falling on her face. And that's why everybody that watched it for the most part was like, yeah, this doesn't add up. And that's why this is a thing. This is why it's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I share your side.
Sorry.
I share it. It's hard to prove DV because it's so insidious, and sometimes you don't even know it's happening to you. And sometimes welcome to Johnny's life. It's not allowed to happen to him because he's the person in power. He's got more money, he's older, so he must be the villain. It doesn't matter what we've heard. Oh, sometimes you don't even want to see yourself as a victim, and so you'll try to be tough and fight back, so they can be like, oh no, we fight each other. Yeah, I didn't hear him fighting her in those audio tapes. I don't even know what she's talking about.
No, I heard Johnny saying that when things got physical, he tried to leave, and then he was berated for trying to leave and defuse the situation.
That's not toxic at all. There's no way that she could be a toxic female. They don't exist in I guess this world. But you're right. It's so interesting because it's like, do they believe what's her name? Jeffy's mistress? Do they truly believe all women? It's a good way to sort of put them against the corner because it's like must believe all women. Well, Ghislaine's saying she was lied to. She was being used by the man. Nothing actually happened. I'd love to like really challenge them. Like, do you believe her? Because she tells you one story. It's a wild story here that I want to make sure we got out there to react because this is still a lot of support. Look at this. People Magazine pulling this. People Magazine calling this out yesterday evening saying, yeah, oh, look, Julia Fox shows support for Amber. And it's all these little stupid things that pile up. And we got to call it out because I just can't stand this bullshit. We went through it. We were experts of this. We know the evidence. To try to claim that there's some sort of other side to this. None of us are. That's what I was trying to pull back my head. No woman is safe, Kim. No woman now. All you women that are watching, everybody, you're not safe because Amber lost. So no one's ever going to believe you. How fucking absurd is that?
I just want to say something myself. Now we're not safe? Now?
True.
Okay. All right.
That was the nail in the coffin. Now it's over. No, a lot of women weren't heard way before Amber. Yeah. And they still continue to be, sadly, right? It's like there's a lot of, you got to file a police report and they're like, sorry. Like it's bad. And that's a fair thing to be complaining about. But to put that movement on Amber, after everything we just watched, these people are ignorant and they're so stuck in their political ideology that they can't see straight. And it's just, it's insane. It's insane. And as someone now who's like even more invested because after I've met him, not because, I'm gushing over meeting him, like you just can tell this guy got destroyed by her. Completely dated a woman who just took advantage, railroaded him, lied to him. And you can hear on those audio tapes. Those audio tapes are so hard to listen to. So Julia Fox, man, I've had some issues with her dumb statements out there before, but this one took the cake. Man, Kanye, it would make sense that she was dating Kanye for a little while, huh, Kim? They say about attraction, that crazy attracts crazy, I guess. So would have loved to hear some conversations from them. But yeah, at the same time, this Julia Fox, it does feel like she's just out there to get more like clicks. And don't you feel that, Kim? Like she's out there to get clickbait titles like this to actually like up her cred? Is that what the Julia Fox business is? Like sort of Kardashian style, you think?
I don't know. I don't know what her business is, but I'm really tired of this like media thing of them peddling this argument of like just the whole like none of us are safe thing. When the reality is currently 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 13 boys in the US experience SA before they're 18. And 1 in 5 women in their lifetime are assaulted. That's the statistic of what is reported. We all haven't been safe for a long time. And to say that one case is going to change that landscape, for me as a survivor that's lived that my whole life, I'm glad it works for your clickbait now. Glad you're paying attention now. But it's unfair to pin this on Johnny Depp. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Sorry.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous indeed. There's one comment here from Teresa. Thank you, Teresa, always. People need to tell Julia about Phil Hartman. He seemingly had more power than his wife, and we saw what happened there. It's such a tragic story. I mean, he murdered her. I think she was, something was off with her. We saw what happened there. I love Phil Hartman. So sad of the loss. Also, imagine the conversations with Julia, Emily, and Kat. My ears would bleed. I mean, not gonna say mine wouldn't either. But let's focus on the content that they're trying to say instead of the way they say it. Yeah. Anyway, good for you, Julia. Yeah, I'm not a fan. And what you're saying is offensive to so many victims and women out there. Speaking on behalf of them, you should stop doing that because you're just so off base on this. It's just so offensively off base. Well, there you have it. Another fantastic show. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me and Kim and Lewis and Vito. We talked about all sorts of stuff. You're not going to miss the replay. So if you haven't already, hit that join button. Hit the tier that you can do. You can always go to the member only playlist on the main channel page to see the options there. Appreciate you guys so much. You can also subscribe. And you can also tune with us. I may not be live tomorrow, but we'll have some content for you. We'll definitely be back next week. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Take care of yourself, and thank you guys so much for watching here, Popcorn Planet.